everyone's unique. But if you've just had a baby, for example, whether you have any unwanted symptoms or not, start with your breath. Really work on expanding that diaphragm, getting deep breaths, getting full inhales, full exhales. You're never going to go wrong there. When you come to like core stability, so crunches and all that, that's great, time and place, again. Mm-hmm. But what we're looking for is not necessarily working those six-pack muscles. Yeah. We're looking for a lot deeper than that. So,
hey everyone, this is Dr. Barrett. I'm a board-certified chiropractic physician with a passion and emphasis in functional nutrition. We can't wait to add value to your health as well as the health of your family. Thanks for listening in to the Real Health Podcast.
Hey, before we jump into today's episode, do me a favor. If you like this episode and you like hearing from Dr. B, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram. We're really trying to get this health movement out. So without further ado, let's get to today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. This is your host Lane, but guess what? You don't have to hear from me today. Today, I'm passing the baton to Dr. B. He has got a special guest he is going to interview that I know is going to bring so much value, and actually was in the gym just a minute ago, and I saw Barrett's wife, Becky, and Becky said, hey, aren't you guys doing a podcast? And I said, actually, your husband's hosting today. He is hosting a pelvic floor therapist. I said that right, correct?
Coach. Yeah.
Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach.
Pelvic floor coach, yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to hand the mic over. Barrett's going to, hopefully he's learned a little bit from me when it comes to asking the right questions.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Here we go. Carrie, the mic is all yours, and have fun with Dr. B.
Awesome. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Hey, a couple things real quick. Armor Beauty and Spa here at Armor Health has got a workshop coming up. So their workshop is March 3rd at 6 p.m., and this is all about developing an at-home skin care regimen. So whether you are very familiar with how to build a healthy skin, or it's just something that's new to you, you don't know how to cleanse, exfoliate, like which ingredients to use. So this workshop is for you. So it's limited to 20 people. You can go to Armor Beauty, and actually just go to the link there and you can register for that workshop. Again, that's March 3rd, 6 to 7:30. So we've been in a series on pillars of health. And so we've talked through nutrition and sleep. We've talked through strength training. And so something that I come across all the time in the office is moms that are either thinking about babies or pregnant or even postpartum. And honestly, it makes up a majority of my practice, which is moms and babies. So I wanted Carrie Gandy to come on the show today because of how important it is to talk about the pelvic floor. So that's the intention behind today, really talking through what is the pelvic floor, what are symptoms of pelvic floor dysfunction, and maybe just like a couple simple strategies to get things started. And then we also have a really cool event coming up that we'll talk about here in a little bit. So welcome to the show, Carrie. It's great to have you.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, okay, how did you go from mom to like passionate about the pelvic floor? Like what started that journey?
Oh, my gosh. So I've got 3 kids, and my oldest just turned 11 yesterday. So 11 years ago when I was pregnant, there was really not a lot of information when it came to fitness, and it was all just do what you've always done. Just watch your heart rate, maybe no crunches.
Okay.
That was about it. So I did that, and I did a lot of things that probably didn't serve me very well later on. Fast forward to my youngest, who's 5, and there was a ton of information, so much out there that it's overwhelming, and it was kind of scary. So I didn't do anything, and that didn't serve me well either. So through that, I had a lot of pain and dysfunction myself. And I just became very passionate about not wanting that for other women and just becoming who I felt like maybe I needed in that season.
Nice. So kind of fast forwarding to today.
Yeah.
Tell me about kind of the certifications that you've gone through.
Okay.
And what do you do on a regular basis with clients?
Yeah. So I am a pregnancy and postpartum certified or correction exercise specialist, as well as pregnancy and postpartum athleticism coach, CrossFit Level 1, all of those. So what we do is we consider ourselves movement specialists, but we look at everything external and how that affects things like your pelvic floor, your core health, your pelvic stability, all of that. So how you move, how you breathe, where you're holding your tension, all of that kind of comes into play and affects it way more than a lot of people realize.
Yeah. So so for our listeners who hear about pelvic floor, but really, let's be honest, have no idea what the pelvic floor is. Describe it. What is the pelvic floor? Give us an understanding of what that actually is, what that means.
Yeah. So the pelvic floor, actually men and women have pelvic floor, but it's a group of muscles that in your pelvis that you can think of it kind of like a hammock of muscles, but they support all the organs inside. So your intestines, your bladder, your reproductive organs, if you're a female. It also helps control certain bodily functions. So whether that's bowel movements, your urine function, and is a prime stabilizer in your pelvis and spine. So it's muscles just like everything else, which means it can be trained.
So as that hammock, sits there, and if it's in a good, healthy state, it's not necessarily too tight and it's not necessarily too loose, right?
Correct. We want it to be dynamic.
So that's like just any other part of the body. We want it to be dynamically adaptable, right, to whatever it needs to adapt to for the day.
Yes.
So what happens when the pelvic floor becomes dysfunctional? So let's just say, listeners had a couple babies, or they have just had their first child, or maybe they're in they're pregnant right now. What happens to the pelvic floor to the point where, like, what symptoms start to develop when you know that there's a potential issue?
So you always hear this thing, right? Like, it's just normal to pee in your pants when you're a mom.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
Well, it may be normal, but that's not optimal. And you don't have to live with that. So that's one of the things. Pain and sex.
Okay.
If you're experiencing that, you've got some pelvic floor dysfunction going on. Pressure, heaviness. We talked about leaking. Just pain, even like deep in your butt. Oftentimes can be pelvic floor related. So if it's not dynamic, if they're not balanced in the middle, so you may be too weak, too tight, whatever that may be, you'll start to experience things that people say are normal, but they don't have to be.
Yeah, we have a saying in our offices, it's common, but not normal.
100%.
Just because it's common doesn't mean it's what's destined for you.
Yes.
So when thinking about the pelvic floor, is pregnancy a big, like postpartum, is that a big factor involved in creating dysfunctional? What else besides pregnancy?
It's a huge factor. Pregnancy is a huge factor, right? So think of the pressure of that baby on your pelvic floor. Your core changes, the support of that. Your breath changes, which is huge, and a lot of people don't really think about that aspect of it. But even if you're not pregnant or haven't been pregnant, haven't had a baby, you can still experience dysfunction. Oftentimes the way you manage your pressure, whether you're in the gym and you're lifting super heavy, doesn't even have to be in the gym, but maybe you pressure down and you don't even realize that.
So let's talk about that for a second, because now we're really kind of even talking about the male population group in the gym training, and all we're told is like squeeze, hard pressure, intense, right? Lock that belt down if you're trying to hit those 1 reps. So what are we doing there? Like, what's happening within the pelvic floor? Does that create issues down the road for us?
Yeah, so what you want to think about is more 360 degrees and not just in your core lower. So think about it in your rib cage too. And if we're not doing that, you're putting that pressure somewhere. So you're putting a lot of maybe not unnecessary, but an overburden state on those muscles over time. Your breath holding, you're not, so we're meant to, our pelvic floor moves, right, when we breathe. When we exhale, it should relax. It should lift up and be supported. When we inhale, it relaxes. So not only are you putting pressure down, maybe you're holding that breath on that heavy lift, and over time, yes, you're creating just extra stress on an area. There's a time and place for it.
Sure.
Totally a time and place for it.
Yep.
But in your day-to-day life, if that's your tendency and your pattern all the time, then that does create a problem, male or female.
Sure. So the idea on that 360-degree concept, right, where it's not just bearing down.
Correct.
But we even hear this concept of like even pulling in, engaging some deeper core muscles. So let's get into maybe some ideas here on like, okay, I know I have a weak pelvic floor or have maybe some pelvic floor symptoms that could indicate some dysfunction. And immediately most women think postpartum, let's start core exercises. And so when we think about core exercises, a lot of times it's like sit-ups and crunches. Is that right? Like where do you think we should start? Because if we're building a healthy foundation, and there's a time and a place for crunches and sit-ups, and leg lifts and all those. But if we're trying to build this healthy foundation, knowing that we have some symptoms of pelvic floor dysfunction, and maybe that is the sensation of chronic UTIs or pain upon intercourse or leaking. Okay, so what's a good general rule of thumb in terms of starting point? Is it diaphragm, breath work? We hear about, Kegel exercises. What goes to, and everyone's unique, right?
For sure.
We need a lot of times special intervention and training and coaching. But where do you go in your mind?
Everyone's unique. But if you've just had a baby, for example, whether you have any unwanted symptoms or not, start with your breath. Really work on expanding that diaphragm, getting deep breaths, getting full inhales, full exhales. You're never going to go wrong there. When you come to like core stability, so crunches and all that, that's great, time and place, again. But what we're looking for is not necessarily working those six-pack muscles. We're looking for a lot deeper than that. So even just some transverse abdominal, like deep, dead bugs are fantastic, but you want to be sure you're doing them right. So start them, regress them, make them easier than you think that they need to be. If you feel it in your back, like, okay, we need to regress that even more because where we want to feel it is in our core.
Right. So we see those classic dead bugs. Someone lays on their back and they're just going, opposite extremities, full range of motion, but the spine's moving at the same time and lifting off the floor, right? When if you do a controlled dead bug, if you actually do a controlled, engaged, transverse abdominis is engaged, the core's engaged, dead bug slowly, it's a super difficult exercise.
Yes, heck yes.
Like I'm shaking after, 8 to 10 slow moving reps.
So what we like to think about is like intention now for intensity later.
That's
like
good.
if you can take that time to really be intentional with your movement, no matter how small it is or seems, you're setting yourself up for greater things in the long run. A lot more fun, a lot less pain. A lot less pressure and leaking.
That's good. So intention for future intensity.
Intention now for intensity later.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good word. So thinking of going back to one of my favorite things is breath work, is thinking about engaging the diaphragm. Not only because it has a phenomenal effect on our central nervous system, it has a profound effect on general, core strength. It's great for the spine because if we're not engaging that lower pelvic floor, then our tailbone doesn't move, and so we're not pumping cerebral spinal fluid. People that breathe with their chest have higher anxiety levels. So there's so much literature. If we step away from pelvic floor and just talk about breath work and its ability to help so many different functions, but tying breath work back, diaphragm, breath work, what are some like breathing exercises that you like to do? Because we hear like box breathing or 360 breathing, or what is that? Okay, so describe it. If you were to, in words, help us create a visual.
Sure.
What does breath work, intentional breath work, look like for moms right now?
So one of my favorite ones, especially if you're newly postpartum, when you're pregnant, your back starts to get tight because it's doing all the carrying, you're pressuring forward. We lose a lot of movement in our sides and our back as far as getting air all the way around in that 360-degree pattern. So what I really like is a side-lying breath. So lay on the floor, legs in kind of a 90-90. You can put your feet against the wall. Sometimes that tends to help women get a little more stable.
So we're talking about almost like a fetal position,
Almost like a fetal position on your
but
side.
not as curled.
Not as curled.
Okay.
What you want to do then is kind of create a little bit of tension. If you're very newly postpartum, maybe even put a towel underneath your side that's on the floor to kind of help support you a little bit. But as you're inhaling, what I want you to do is kind of put your hand on your opposite side, the side that's in the air, the side that's on top, and really try to focus. This is more mental, than it is physical.
Sure.
But really want you to think about pushing air into the side of your body. So in this case, it's not going to be full 360, but that's what we're working towards, is being able to create space for that air. So you're going to work on getting it into your sides, into your back, into your hips. So I would say if you're doing it right, like full inhale, full exhale. I mean, until you feel like you're going to cough kind of exhale.
Yep.
5 breaths or so on each side at a time is really all you need. You're going to feel lightheaded if you try to do too much more than that. So it's not, breath work can be boring. And as a mom, you're like, I don't want to act like, who wants to sit and breathe?
Sure.
But not only, like you just talked about, it's going to help a lot with the stress, but it can take, 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
While you're laying on the floor with your baby, just
good.
start breathing.
I remember, I forget which baby it was. We got 4, so maybe it was after the second or third. So maybe after Maddie or Mila, we were working some pelvic floor with Becky, and she wanted to get right into exercises. In her mind, right, is just like on to the next, on to the next.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to really just rest. That's not a great it's not easy for her. So anyway, we started talking about just breath work, intentionality, engaging the pelvic floor, and what that looks like. And she's so bored. Like if we do yoga, it's just so boring for her. It is. And so, but again, like you said, the intentionality, and it doesn't have to be very long. Just reconnecting the brain, right? Reconnecting the brain to those lower pelvic muscles is an essential component, a foundation to build everything from there, right? Yeah. So, okay, another thing that a lot of people hear about is Kegels.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with like Kegel exercises? I'm just going to play the card here. Do they work? Are they important? Should we be doing them? Like, tell us a little bit about those.
So same thing, time and place, right? We've talked about your pelvic floor can be tight or it can be weak. It can be both. If you've got a really tight pelvic floor, if it's angry after just giving birth, Kegels may not be the best thing for you.
That's good. Yeah.
So you really want to work on lengthening, relaxing those pelvic floor muscles, deep breathing into your pelvic floor. You may even need some internal work done, which is great too. But there are times where, okay, so it was tight. Now I've relaxed. I've kind of okayed that, but now it's weak though. That's probably ultimately what's going on. So Kegels might be very appropriate. And yeah, they do work. They work. You want to work on contraction and relaxing though. The relaxing is just as important as the contraction. I think a lot of people kind of leave that part out. So none of our muscles are meant to be, it's a muscle. Your pelvic floors are muscles just like every other muscle. So none of our muscles are meant to be in a contracted state all the time. So just like
you wouldn't hold a weight in your bicep and hold that for hours on end.
There's a reason we, take our arm into extension, lengthen that muscle so that we can get a better, stronger contraction later.
Yeah.
So same thing. Pelvic floor is the exact same thing. But I would argue that Kegels are not, yes, they work, but squatting works, lunges work.
Yep.
Intentional glute work.
Yep.
Is just as important. You can sit and do Kegels all day long, but if you're not moving
progressing
and strengthening, you talk about that pillar of health, strength training. Like it's just as important for your pelvic floor as it is any other aspect.
Well, just like anything, we need progressive overload.
Yeah,
your
100%.
body will adapt, right? It'll adapt to Kegels. It'll adapt to anything. So we need to challenge it. So what's next for it, right?
Yeah.
So, that's good. So, okay. The typical thing that we see a lot, especially your CrossFit level 1, so you see a lot with CrossFitters doing double unders, or maybe squats. Yeah. And there is that bladder incontinence.
Yeah.
And the idea is, hey, it's just something that's always happened. I'm 10 years postpartum. Is it even worth working on?
It's never too late, my friend.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So there's hope, even if it's 10 years after your last, baby.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Postpartum is forever, but so is healing.
Mm-hmm. So, does that mean we have to dial our strength training back, or does that just mean we just have to accessorize our training?
Accessorize.
Yeah.
We just adjust. I would look at, if you're, say, double unders, for example, I would just want to watch you do it. It could be something as simple as lean slightly forward a little bit more.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a major thing. Now, it can be, but there's a lot of fun you can do with building up that endurance of those pelvic floor muscles. So it could be strong, but maybe endurance is lacking. Okay, so we do a couple exercises. I had that same issue for a while, and we put together some fun little jumping obstacle courses to build up the endurance. And I don't have that issue anymore.
So if you consciously train your pelvic floor when you're thinking about double unders, for instance, are you thinking about engaging certain muscles at the same time or holding your frame a certain time?
Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
And then,
I don't want you. That's where, if you're thinking about holding that, you're thinking
and tight.
Don't pee. Hold that in.
And squeezing.
It's getting tired.
Yeah.
And then it has no control. We want it to be dynamic. We want it to be able to move with you and for you. Don't think about it. Let it go. Let go of your glutes. Let go of everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the workshop that you're doing. It's coming up. When is it?
So March 27th.
Okay.
We will start this. Another coach and I, her name is Caitlin, we will be hosting a 6-week class workshop, whatever you want to call it. It's twice a week on Mondays and Fridays at 10:30. But what we're doing is, these are for newly postpartum moms. So 6 months and under is kind of who we're looking for. But what we're trying to do is just teach them, educate them, teach them strategies, help them heal and recover their bodies to set them up for being able to just go out, and whether it's fitness, just simply being a mom, or anything you want to do as a woman, and not let a lack of recovery hinder you later on.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks, 2 classes a week.
Yep.
Cool. And where would they learn more? How do they sign up?
So we can go to Armor Health's Instagram page. You can DM us or call the office and
awesome.
Set it up that way.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah.
In terms
That'll be here at our Armor Health location.
Okay.
Out west.
Awesome.
And we just, our heart and passion is for women and moms who we just don't want to ever see them feel like they can't do what they want to do as a mom and as a woman because of their bodies.
That's good.
Having a baby it's a temporary, change in your body, but you can heal, you can recover. You were created to heal and recover. Sometimes it just takes some strategies to do that.
Lane usually asks me at the end, is there, if you had a mom out there that was dealing with pelvic floor dysfunction symptoms and you were to reach out to them, what would you say? You said it perfectly. So obviously there's hope. So
yes.
Well, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, again, I don't think it's talked about a lot. I think it's becoming a little bit more, people are becoming a little bit more aware that there's options out there. But again, there's so much kind of just gray in this area. And a lot of people just don't know where to reach out. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Educating us a little bit.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Well, if you're interested in the workshop, again, it's 6 weeks, 2 classes a week. Reach out to Armor Health, and we look forward to serving you however we can. Thanks, Carrie, for joining us, and you guys have a wonderful day.
Before you hit X, hold on 1 second. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast today with Dr. B. 2 things that would really help the Real Health Podcast movement. 1, share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you're on a social network. And 2, if you go to Apple Podcast and you scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and give us a review. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next episode.